My family only invited me to the reunion so they could brag about how my cousin just landed a life-changing job. Everyone kept hyping him up like he was the next big thing. My aunt even whispered, he'll be a millionaire before 30, unlike some people. I just smiled and waited. When they finally asked what I'd been up to, I said, not much. I just signed his paycheck last week. The room went quiet. Then my grandfather stood up and said, well, I'll be damned. That true? I nodded slowly. My cousin's face drained of color. My aunt's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. See, this moment was 4 years in the making. 4 years since I dropped out of college at 21 to build a recruiting platform for tech companies. My parents stopped talking to me for 3 months. My aunt told everyone at Christmas I'd probably end up delivering pizzas. The family group chat went silent whenever I posted. They didn't invite me to my sister's engagement party. Said it was an oversight. I knew better. I lived in a studio apartment above a laundromat for 2 years. Worked delivery shifts until 2 a.m., then coded until dawn. Ate rice and canned beans for 8 months straight because that's all I could afford. My bank account hit $47 twice. Both times I thought about quitting. My dad called once during that time, asked when I'd get a real job. I said I had one. He laughed and hung up. That call lasted 90 seconds, but I kept building. Found one investor who believed in the idea. Launched with 3 paying customers. Grew to 15, then 50, then 200. Last year, a holding company made an offer, $8.2 million. I took it. Stayed on as VP of Talent Acquisition. Got a seat on the acquisition committee. My first year's salary was more than my dad made in 5. 3 months ago, we bought a fintech startup called Nexura. I was reviewing the employee database when I saw his name. My cousin, the golden child. The one with the business degree and the internships and the LinkedIn posts about grinding. He worked in their sales department, made $68,000 a year. Reported to a manager who reported to a director who reported to me. I could have reached out, could have said something. I didn't. I waited. Then came the reunion invitation. My mom texted, please come, everyone wants to see you. I knew what that meant. Another performance. Another chance to be the cautionary tale while someone else got applause. But something made me say yes. Maybe curiosity. Maybe I just wanted to see their faces. I showed up in jeans and a plain shirt. My cousin was wearing a suit, holding court in the backyard, talking about stock options like he invented them. My aunt kept touching his shoulder, beaming, telling anyone who'd listen about his brilliant career move, how he'd been headhunted, how the CEO personally wanted him on the team, how he'd be running his own division within 2 years. Then she saw me. Her smile tightened. Oh, you actually came. She air-kissed my cheek. You know, it's never too late to go back to school. Finish what you started. My friend's son did that at 30. I just smiled. My grandfather called everyone to attention, raised his glass. Let's hear about this fancy new job. My cousin stood up, talked for 10 minutes about disrupting fintech and his equity package and the company vision. People clapped. My aunt literally wiped tears, kept saying how proud she was. Then my grandfather turned to me. And you? What have you been up to, son? The pity in his voice was thick, like he was asking a child what they wanted to be when they grew up. I set down my drink. Not much. Just signed his paycheck last week. Silence. Pure, beautiful silence. My cousin blinked. What? Nexura, I said calmly. We acquired it in August. I'm on the executive team. You're in sales, which means technically I'm your boss's boss's boss. My aunt's face went from proud to pale in 3 seconds. That's not, he doesn't report to you directly. No, I agreed. He reports to someone who reports to someone who reports to me. But I did approve his division's Q4 budget last month. Nice work on those numbers, by the way. My cousin sat down hard. My sister stared at her plate. My dad's fork clattered down. And my grandfather, this 80-year-old man who'd barely said 2 words to me in 3 years, walked over and put his weathered hand on my shoulder. He looked directly at my aunt, let the moment breathe, then said the words I'll never forget. Seems like the disappointment's the only one who showed up.